Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Centre deputes multidisciplinary teams to 6 states in view of increased number of COVID-19 cases being reported in these states. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 34 crore mark. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves further to 96.97%. Army inducts first batch of 12 indigenously designed and developed short-span bridging systems into Corps of Engineers. Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Minister Prakash Javadekar virtually launches 6 technology innovation platforms. ED attaches a 65 crore rupee firm allegedly linked to Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar in MSC Bank scam. First session of newly constituted West Bengal Assembly begins today. In J&K, 3 terrorists associated with Lashkar-e-Toiba LET terror outfit gunned down by security forces. Centre invites nominations for Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022. Duti Chand qualifies for Tokyo Olympics through her world ranking in both 100-meter and 200-meter races. In an all-Indian face-off in Wimbledon tennis, pair of Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna to lock horns with duo of Ankita Raina and Ramkumar Ramanathan in first round of mixed doubles. And in Euro Cup football, quarter-final fixtures begin tonight. Spain to face Switzerland while Belgium to take on Italy in 2 encounters. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news. The Centre has deputed multidisciplinary teams to 6 states today in view of the increased number of COVID-19 cases being reported by these states. These states are Kerala, Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura, Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Manipur. The Health Ministry said these teams will be supporting them in their efforts for targeted COVID response and management and in effectively tackling the pandemic. The government has been leading the fight against the global pandemic with a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach. As an ongoing effort to strengthen efforts of various state and union territories' government for COVID management, the central government has been deputing central teams from time to time to visit various states and UTs. We have more from our correspondent.
The high-level central teams consist of a clinician and a public health expert. The teams will visit the states immediately and monitor the overall implementation of COVID-19 management, especially in testing, surveillance and containment operations, availability of hospital beds, sufficient logistics including ambulances, ventilators and medical oxygens. These teams will interact with the state and get a first-hand understanding of the challenges and issues being faced by them. The central teams will also assess the situation and suggest remedial actions on public health activities to the respective state governments. With Dipendra Kumar, Divakar, AR News, Delhi.
Over 34 crore vaccine doses have been administered in the country till now. Over 43,60,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. Healthcare workers have been given over 1 crore 74 lakh doses. Frontline workers over 2.7 crore doses. People in the 18 to 44 age group have received over 9.63 crore doses. People in the 45 to 59 age group over 10.6 crore doses. And people over 60 years have been administered 9.26 crore doses.
The government today said that more than 33 crore 63 lakh vaccine doses were provided to the states and union territories till date. The Health Ministry said as part of the nationwide vaccination drive, The central government has been supporting the states and UTs by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost. In the new phase of the universalization of the COVID-19 vaccination drive, the central government will procure and supply 75% of the vaccines being produced by the vaccine manufacturers in the country to states and UTs. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from the 21st of last month. The ministry said the government is committed to accelerating the pace and expanding the scope of COVID-19 vaccination throughout the country. The vaccination drive has been ramped up through availability of more vaccines, advanced visibility of vaccine availability to states and UTs for enabling better planning by them, and streamlining the vaccine supply chain. The ministry said more than 44,90,000 vaccine doses are in the pipeline and will be received by the states and UTs within the next 3 days. The recovery rate of COVID-19 patients has gone up to 97.01% across the country. Over 59,000 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry said over 2.95 crore people have recovered from COVID-19 so far. Daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 50th consecutive day. The country reported more than 46,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload has declined to 5,09,637. Active cases constitute 1.67% of total cases. Weekly positivity rate remains below 5% and it is currently at 2.57%. Daily positivity rate at 2.48% and it is less than 5% for 25 consecutive days. 853 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. With this, the death toll due to the pandemic has reached 4,312,000. The Health Ministry said testing capacity has been substantially ramped up and over 41 crore tests have been conducted till now. More than 18 lakh samples were tested yesterday.
The Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, today hit back at Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over his tweet on the availability of COVID-19 vaccines in the country. The minister said he has already explained the facts on vaccine availability for the month of July and questioned if the Congress leader has not understood it. Criticizing Mr. Gandhi, he said there is no vaccine for what he called the virus of arrogance and ignorance. Dr. Harshvardhan added that Congress must think of a leadership overhaul. Earlier in a tweet, Mr. Gandhi questioned the central government over the alleged lack of COVID vaccines in the country. Yesterday, Dr. Harshvardhan had said that the states have already been informed in advance about the vaccine supplies for the month of July, and this information was shared with them 15 days prior, along with the details about the day-wise supply. He added that 12 crore doses will be made available this month to states and the private hospital supply will be over and above this. BJP spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia also came down heavily on Rahul Gandhi and accused him of spreading confusion and playing petty politics over the vaccination. He said 41,60,000 vaccine doses have been given in the last 24 hours and the vaccination data shows that the central government has launched a massive vaccination campaign. Mr. Bhatia added that the centre is committed to provide vaccines to everyone by December 2021. Citing a media report, the BJP spokesperson also raised the issue of alleged irregularities in the purchase of oxygen concentrators in Rajasthan and questioned the Congress.
किस तरह से केंद्र सरकार ने युद्ध स्तर पे भारत के नागरिकों को वैक्सीन लगाई है, एक सुरक्षा कवच दिया है। राहुल गांधी जी, कब वो राजनीतिक परिपक्वता आएगी कि आप समझेंगे कि विपक्ष की भूमिका भी सकारात्मक हो सकती है?
Odisha is one of the 6 states to which the centre has rushed a 2-member team each for control and containment of COVID-19 situation. The team will monitor the overall implementation of COVID-19 management in the state, including testing, surveillance and containment operations.
The team, being led by Dr. A. Dan, a public health specialist, will monitor COVID-19 situation in the state while suggesting remedial interventions to stamp the viral growth down. Odisha of late has been witnessing a daily COVID-19 infection in the range of 3 to 3.5 thousand cases, accompanied by a death toll anywhere between 40 to 50 every day. While the state has reported a fresh lot of 3,222 new infections, 46 persons have also succumbed to the virus in the last 24 hours. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
In Madhya Pradesh, vaccination campaign is being carried out at full speed. Along with the administration, people through self-motivation are also acting as COVID volunteers for creating awareness. A report from Bhopal.
There is a lot of enthusiasm in Madhya Pradesh for vaccination. People are also becoming aware of the efforts of the government and administrations. Ranu Sahu, a resident of Bajra Tola in Satna district, was pursuing her husband Rishi Kumar Sahu for vaccination. But after her husband did not agree, she took a resolution not to eat until the vaccination was not given. Eventually, the husband Rishi had agreed to get vaccination. Ranu's initiative is becoming an example for others as well. Rashid Ahmed Khan, AIR News, Bhopal.
National Human Rights Commission Chairperson Justice A.K. Mishra has said that due to COVID-19 pandemic, many segments of society have been affected and every citizen should extend a helping hand to the poor and needy in such an hour of distress. He stated this while inaugurating the Commission's flagship 15-day online short internship program. He added that the issues of migrant workers, human trafficking, overcrowding of prisons are some of the problems facing the country, which require attention of different stakeholders. The chairperson also said that the freedom of expression is the most cherished value and right, which should be used diligently and with great responsibility on social media and space. Exhorting the students to orient themselves to finding solutions to various problems being faced by the country, Justice Mishra said that they should strive to make the best use of these interactive sessions by eminent experts on different aspects of human rights.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Centre deputes multidisciplinary teams to 6 states in view of increased number of COVID-19 cases been reported in these states. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 34 crore mark. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves further to 97.01%. Army inducts first batch of 12 indigenously designed and developed short-span bridging systems into Corps of Engineers. Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Minister Prakash Javadekar virtually launches 6 technology innovation platforms. ED attaches 65 crore rupees firm allegedly linked to Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar in MSC Bank scam. First session of newly constituted West Bengal Assembly begins today. 3 terrorists gunned down by security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. Centre invites nominations for Subhash Chandra Bose Abda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022. Doti Chand qualifies for Tokyo Olympics through her world ranking in both 100 meters and 200 meters. In an all-Indian face-off in the Wimbledon tennis, pair of Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna to lock horns with the duo of Ankita Raina and Ramkumar Ramanathan in the first round of mixed doubles. And in Euro Cup football quarter-final fixtures begin tonight. Spain to face Switzerland while Belgium to take on Italy in 2 encounters. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The Centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The Child Helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. The Ayush COVID-19 Counselling helpline number is 14443. And MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. The Army today inducted first batch of 12 indigenously designed and developed short-span bridging systems into the Corps of Engineers. The system has been designed by DRDO and manufactured by L&T. Speaking on the occasion, Army Chief General M.M. Narawane said this bridging system will boost country's capability because there is always a need for 10-meter bridges. General Narawane said this bridge, designed and developed in India and is a step in Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Army Chief said operations, especially in the western borders, will get a boost and will help the mechanized forces.
आज ये बड़ी खुशी की बात है कि हम सारे यहाँ उपस्थित हैं 10 मीटर शॉर्ट स्पैन ब्रिज को इंडियन आर्मी में शामिल करने के लिए। ये शॉर्ट स्पैन ब्रिज पूरा इंडिया में बना है। इसका डिजाइन भी DRDO द्वारा किया गया, प्रोडक्शन L&T द्वारा, और ये हमारा आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लक्ष्य का एक और सफलपूर्वक कदम है। इस ब्रिज के इंडियन आर्मी में शामिल होने से हमारी जो काबिलियत है वो और भी बढ़ेगी।
Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari has said that India will be an example to the world as far as e-vehicles are concerned, and the priority of the government is to fight pollution. Addressing the India Global Forum 2021 yesterday, the minister said Indian research is working aggressively towards pursuing green hydrogen. Mr. Gadkari said the government is trying its best to convert all the construction material to greener options.
India has joined Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD and G20 Inclusive Framework Tax Deal. Majority of the members OECD and G20 countries yesterday adopted a high-level statement containing an outline of a consensus solution to address the tax challenges arising from the digitalization of the economy. The proposed solution consists of two components: reallocation of additional share of profit to the market jurisdictions and minimum tax subject to tax rules. The Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises and Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today virtually launched 6 technology innovation platforms. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Javadekar said these platforms will focus on certain identified mother technologies which will cover manufacturing sector, capital goods and mobility together for current and future needs. The minister said innovation and high-end technology is imperative for development. Is the utility
India's
created?
problem is we lack in innovation. And which nation makes progress? Nation that innovates makes progress. And innovation in technology, high-end technology, is very important because that creates wealth for the nation. If you calculate the cost of the raw material in a machine, that may be fraction. But the utility created through it, through the innovation, brings the wealth.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
दुनिया रंग बिरंगी, खट्टे मीठे रसीले समाचारों का सतरंगी खजाना आकाशवाणी पर। खबरें होंगी हटकर, जानेंगे कुछ अलग, हंसेंगे खुलकर, करेंगे सजग। सुनना न भूलें सोमवार और मंगलवार आज सवेरे तथा शनिवार और रविवार कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में।
The Enforcement Directorate has attached the properties worth over 65 crore rupees of Jarandeshwar Sahakari Sugar Karkhana, Jandeshwar, SSK, in Satara district of Maharashtra, and the factories linked with Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawar, and his wife, Sunetra Pawar. The action was taken in connection with a case related to Maharashtra State Cooperative Bank, MSCB, scam under the provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. BJP State President Chandrakant Patil has said that he has written a letter to the Home Minister Amit Shah to look into the matter for the detailed inquiry in the case. The first session of the newly constituted West Bengal Assembly has begun today with Governor Jagdeep Dhankar's address. The state budget for 2021-22 is scheduled to be placed on the 7th of July. The short session is likely to be eventful as dissension is going on between the State Secretariat and the Raj Bhavan over the Governor's customary inaugural speech. The BJP Legislative Party is likely to raise issues like post-poll violence and fake vaccine camps, which may lead to a stormy session. With 75 MLAs, BJP is the main opposition in the State Assembly. Congress and the left parties have no representation in the present House, though their alliance partner ISF has 1 MLA.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists associated with Lashkar-e-Toiba LET terror outfit have been gunned down by security forces in a gunfight which had broken out late last night at Hanjin village of Rajpura area in South Kashmir's Pulwama district. As per police sources, the encounter started after the joint team of security forces were fired upon who had laid a cordon and search operation in the village, and in retaliation 3 Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists were neutralized. The identity of the slain terrorist has been ascertained. Meanwhile, the operation was still underway when last reports came in. Further details are awaited. The central government has invited nominations for the Subhash Chandra Bose Abda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022. The awards are given for excellence in the field of disaster management. Online application process is open till the 31st of August at dmawards.ndma.gov.in. The awards are announced every year on the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on the 23rd of January. Nominated individual or institutions should have worked in any area of disaster management like prevention, mitigation, preparedness, rescue, response, relief, rehabilitation, research, innovation or early warning. Along with the certificate, the awards carry a cash award of 51 lakh rupees for an institution and 5 lakh rupees for an individual. An individual can apply for the award and also nominate another person or institution.
In Tamil Nadu, Indian Naval Station Parandu, the naval air station at Ramanathapuram, has warned that any drone flying in a radius of 3 kilometers around the station will be destroyed. The naval air station is situated in Uchipulli, Ramanathapuram district. The statement further added that flying of non-conventional aerial objects, including remotely piloted aircrafts or drones, was prohibited. In case of violation, it will be destroyed or confiscated without any liability, and action will be taken under the Indian Penal Code against the operator. The statement has been issued after a recent asymmetric aerial attack at an Indian Air Force station in Jammu on the 27th of June using drones and spotting of drones at military camps at Kaluchak and Kunjwani in Jammu. Our special program Olympic Quiz with AIR News got off to a flying start yesterday with an enthusiastic response from the listeners. Citizens from all over the country took part in the quiz and sent their replies.
In the run-up to the Tokyo Olympics, the News Services Division of All India Radio in its Sports Scan program is broadcasting every day Olympics Quiz with AIR News. Olympics Quiz आकाशवाणी समाचार के साथ in Hindi. Every day a question related to Olympics will be asked at the beginning and closing of the program. To participate in this program, listeners can send the replies by email on airsportscan@gmail.com. The first correct answer received through email will be adjudged the winner of the quiz. The name of the winner will be announced in SportsScan program the next day. It will also be flashed on AIR Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. The Sports Authority of India will provide India team jersey to the winner. So tune in to the SportsScan program every day at 7:20 p.m. on FM Gold and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
With just 22 days to go for Tokyo Olympic Games, AIR today takes a look at the career graph of Aditi Ashok, who is considered one of the best female golfers in India and has qualified for her second Olympic Games.
Born on March 29, 1998 in Bengaluru, Karnataka, Aditi first expressed her interest in golf at the young age of 5, a time when there were only 3 golf courses in her city. She asked her father to take her to the golf course, and since then she never looked back. At the age of just 13, she won her first state-level tournament, the Karnataka Junior and 2011 South Indian Junior Championships. Aditi also held the junior and senior titles in 2014. She became the only Indian golfer to compete in the 2013 Asian Youth Games, the 2014 Youth Olympics and the 2014 Asian Games. Her turning point came when she won the Ladies British Amateur Stroke Play Championship in 2015. Aditi finally turned pro on 1st January 2016 and created history when she became the first Indian woman to qualify for the Rio Olympics just at the age of 18. In 2017, she became the first LPGA player from India and stood 8th in the Rookie of the Year rankings. Aditi will be in Tokyo along with her male counterparts Anirban Lahiri and Udhyan Mane. Sports Desk, AIR News.
The Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju today congratulated Duti Chand on qualifying for the Tokyo Olympics through a world ranking in both the 100-meter and 200-meter. In a tweet, Mr. Rijiju said he is confident that our athletes will give the best at Tokyo 2020. He also congratulated Sania Mirza and Ankita Raina, who will represent India in the women's doubles tennis at the Tokyo Olympics. This will be Sania's 4th Olympics, while it will be Ankita Raina's debut. Mr. Rijiju said backstroke swimmer Mana Patel has become the first female and the 3rd Indian swimmer to qualify for Tokyo 2020. He also congratulated Mana, who qualified through university quota. In the Euro Cup football, battle lines have been drawn for the quarterfinal matches tonight. 3-time European champion Spain will clash with Switzerland in the first encounter, while Belgium will take on Italy in the second match later tonight. Czech Republic will lock horns with Denmark in the 3rd quarterfinal, and England will take on Ukraine in the 4th quarterfinal tomorrow. In the Wimbledon tennis, Indian players Sania Mirza and Ankita Raina will compete against each other in the mixed doubles today. Sania will pair up with Rohan Bopanna, while Ankita will join hands with Ramkumar Ramanathan to compete in the first round of mixed doubles. Yesterday, Sania made a winning return to the tournament as she stormed into the second round of women's doubles with American partner Bethany Mattek-Sands in London.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is facing heat wave. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees and maximum may go up to 41 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is having a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Chennai is seeing a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata has a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will go up to 33 degrees. Jammu is having a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Srinagar is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of thunderstorm. Temperature will hover between 17 and 30 degrees Celsius. Leh has a generally cloudy sky. Gilgit is having a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Muzaffarabad has a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain. Guwahati is having generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 30 degrees. Itanagar has a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Imphal is having a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 29 degrees. Shillong has a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 22 degrees. Aizawl is having a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kohima has a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 26 degrees. Agartala is having a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Gangtok has a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 20 degrees. Dehradun has a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rains. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre deputes multidisciplinary teams to 6 states in view of increased number of COVID-19 cases being reported in these states. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 34 crore mark. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves further to 97.01%. Army inducts first batch of 12 indigenously designed and developed short-span bridging systems into Corps of Engineers. Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Minister Prakash Javadekar virtually launches 6 technology innovation platforms. ED attaches 65 crore rupee firm allegedly linked to Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar in MSC Bank scam. First session of newly constituted West Bengal Assembly begins today. 3 terrorists gunned down by security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. Centre invites nominations for Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022. Duti Chand qualifies for Tokyo Olympics through her world ranking in both 100 meters and 200 meters. In an all-Indian face-off in Wimbledon tennis, pair of Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna to lock horns with duo of Ankita Raina and Ramkumar Ramanathan in first round of mixed doubles. And in Euro Cup football, quarter-final fixtures begin tonight. Spain to face Switzerland while Belgium to take on Italy in 2 encounters. And with that we end the midday news.